All right, my friends, we are going to learn about making something called a contact sheet. Now, this might not be the most exciting thing you'll ever do in Photoshop, but it is probably one of the things that is like super duper important, especially if you're like organizing lots and lots of pictures. And if you ever get a job, it's really good to know how to use this if the job has Photoshop jobs. So anyway, a contact sheet, here I'll give you an example, is when you take a grid of individual pictures and then you combine them into one document. So this is an example of a contact sheet of portraits that we did for Aaron. These were taken from individual pictures of Aaron right here. And I'm going to take the process of how we did that. Obviously for the yearbook, this is really helpful for portraits. So to make a contact sheet, first we're going to make sure that our folder has all the pictures that we want in it. I'm going to pick my folder because it's all pictures of my ugly mug over here. Oh my gosh. I would like to turn this all into one document so I can review them. And this is helpful. You know, this is only 7 pictures, but if you have like 40 pictures, it makes it way easier than cruising through a folder. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to open up Photoshop. And then I am going to go to the File menu. I realize that, hang on a second. This is not great. You can't really see my File menu. But we're going to go here and down in the Automate menu, you're going to see under File, Automate, we have something called Contact Sheet 2 right there. So I'm going to do that. And then this is our options right here. There's a bunch of stuff that we can learn about, but mainly the first thing that we want to do is choose a source. And the source can be a group of files that you select, or it could be a folder. I like to work with a folder because it's faster. If you want to choose a new folder like I'm going to do, you just go to where it is. I'm going to select my name, Jim, right there, hit open, boom, we're good. And we have these options right here, include subfolders. So if there were any additional folders in there, it would grab pictures out of those, and then it would group the images by the folder. So basically it would make a couple contact sheets for me based on how many there are. Down here, we can see the document set up, and this is actually pretty helpful. The document setup here has a width of 9 inches by a height of 12 inches, a high resolution, a print-ready resolution of 300. It's an RGB. So it's not something that would print on a normal printer, but it would shrink down if we needed to. And then using that math, which is, if we know our ratios, this is 3/4 and this is 4/4. We can also kind of come down here and using something similar, I did a slightly less tight ratio just because this gives us a little bit more white space. But our thumbnails, we can choose how many we want per column and how many rows we want, right? So if we have 2 columns and 3 rows, that means that each page will have 6 on it, 6 images. I can go ahead and I can say I want the file name to be a caption. That's really helpful when people need to pick something from a specific contact sheet. And I can even change the font and the font size and the font weight and all that good stuff. So I'm going to hit OK. And what we're going to see happen is Photoshop is going to open these pictures individually and put them all into a single document. Now I added in one more stupid picture of myself just so we would have multiple pages. But you can see the output here is a file called Contact Sheet 1 and Contact Sheet 2. Now what? Well, we could save these individually as JPEGs or PDFs and send them individually, but that's a little not so fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a second move in my File menu. I'm going to hit File again, and I'm going to come down to the Automate menu again, and I'm going to hit PDF Presentation. From PDF Presentation, I'm going to hit Add Open Files, which is really nice. Here are all the open files in Photoshop for now. And I'm going to select Multi-Page Document, and I'm going to hit Save. And then finally what I'll do is I'll write Jim Fenner Contact Sheet, then find the folder that this is supposed to be in, bada bing, bada boom, hit Save again, and then we can cruise right on over to that folder. Here is my contact sheet. And when we preview it, we see that we have all 7 images that were in there. So again, contact sheets are a really, really good way to organize pictures. Let's say that you have 500 pictures of sports shots that you want to go through. Using a contact sheet can be a good way to print them out, write notes on them, circle some, X some out. It's a really handy tool and something that you should be encouraged to try using. Not everything in Photoshop is about manipulating images. A lot of it is about organizing your photos and making it easy for people to find what they're looking for. So good luck.